Hello, all. Good morning, GDC. Thank you all for taking the time this morning to come to Gaming Success on Discord Insights into Community Growth and Player Engagement. My name is Timothy Liu, and I'm a senior staff data scientist leading gaming analytics at Discord. My job is generally to uplevel gaming intelligence at the company using data. I help Discord understand what games make up our ecosystem, why players play the games that they play, and how games and their developers and their publishers succeed engaging with their audiences. Raise of hands in the audience. Who here is a game developer? Okay, we're at GDC. Great, we're at the right place. How about publishers, marketers, community managers, maybe? One or two? Who is a Discord user? Yeah, there we go. Or regardless if you are an industry professional or general Discord lover, we hope you all learn a little something today. The goal of today's presentation is to help you learn how to leverage Discord's social layer to drive discovery and engagement to your game. Note this is an insights and data presentation, so we will be going over a lot of data to build this shared understanding together. Discord has come a long way since we first started a little about 10 years ago. As of the end of 2025, our total daily active users is over 90 million users. And not just any users, specifically game players, as over 90% of our users play games. Our best-in-class audio and video features, as well as our communities, empower users to play more and hang out with their friends and find belonging. Users, ultimately, are only one side of the equation. Our other key success criteria is helping developers succeed. You guys ultimately have the tough job of making great games. And our job is to help you grow, connect with your players, and help your players connect with each other. That is why today we will be going over three main topics to help you, games, and the games industry succeed in properly leveraging Discord to 1, grow your game communities, 2, drive player engagement, 3, understand how game discovery works on Discord. So let's get into it. With our first section, grow game communities. Today, most games have vibrant Discord communities. Games spin up official Discord communities as their first step, maybe sometimes their only step in their community engagement strategies. Based on feedback from y'all, we know that games crave a few things from Discord regarding their communities. 1, a better understanding of the ROI of communities. 2, engagement strategies, and 3, growth strategies. I could do this for another hour and a half. We'll do a little bit and try to cover some of this today. First, the ROI. What is even the purpose of game communities? Maybe you're a game developer and you're thinking, why have the community in the first place on Discord? Well, first and foremost, communities tend to gather your most valuable players. We looked at top games with official game communities, and across all games on average, players in a game community tend to play the game more, specifically 4 more days per month than those not in a game community. Second, joining a community can increase engagement for players too. Here, we are showing average players before and after joining a game community. And adjusting for pre-existing player frequencies, we generally see an uptick of about 2 more days played the following month after joining a community. Okay, so communities are great. They house your most valuable players. They can improve engagement on joining. How do I get started? The answer is immediately. Looking at all the unreleased games on IGDB, which is about 2,500 games spanning until 2030, about 48% of those unreleased games have actually already created their official Discord community server. But how early is early? Maybe you're not a game yet. Maybe you're not thinking 2030 yet. Well, we looked at the top games released in the last few years with official game communities and compared when their first members joined versus when they launched the game. That distribution is shown here. It's a very wide distribution, but on median, games typically start recruiting members into their game communities around 18 months before release. Again, this is not a one-size-fits-all guideline, but we're strongly starting to recommend you to recruit people into your community servers as early as possible. Besides starting early, recruitment needs to be wide. we've generally noticed that membership growth in the game community servers doesn't typically line up with growth in other marketing channels. Here we look at top games again and compare three things: Google search users for a game in green, community members for a game in black, and game players in purple, by the relative months to launch, with the middle there being the game release date. Typically, across top games, community membership, again the black line, doesn't scale proportionally with Google searches, that green line. And we largely suspect because games don't remember to cross-market server joins in their earlier marketing campaigns. Typically, games start doing their marketing campaigns 6 to 9 months before launch. So you see that green line scaling up 6 to 9 months before. But that black line only starts typically 1 month before release. There's a whole missed opportunity here for game developers to start recruiting early. We start recommending games to do it early, as well as cross-promote across their other marketing channels, your game trailers, your game announcements, etc. Recruiting takes time, but really pays off dividends later, especially as game interest eventually wanes. The earlier you start, the more of your overall player base you can get into your server, and eventually when your game does lose hype or when the users finish the game, as shown when the purple line here dips below the black community membership line, you will now have a no-cost and efficient re-engagement channel to your lapsed most valuable players. Some brutal honesty. Most games are not great at recruiting players into their server, maybe because they didn't start early enough, etc. Here we show top release Steam games with an official Discord game community and the percent of their Steam player base in their community. Most games have only about 1 to 10% of their player base in their Discord communities. But look at the very top, Marvel Rivals, with 27% of their player base in their community. What's going on? Well, Marvel Rivals actually put in an in-game community entry point and even rewarded users for joining the community with in-game currency. Community growth doesn't and shouldn't stop after launch. We recommend taking a page from their playbook here and consider recruiting at all stages of your game, both before and after release, including within the game itself. Okay, so we just talked about community growth. The other thing I promised was talk about engagement a little, so let's switch gears. You got them into the server. What do you do when they get there? What exactly makes a good server? Well, we asked users what makes a good community server, and this is what they said. By far, the most important thing was updates about the game, with 18% of respondents saying that this is the most important aspect of a successful game community server. Besides that, as colored in the top row here, they look for community and belonging and helping each other and good vibes, and the ability to connect directly with game developers. Whether that's providing bug reports or concept feedback or just gushing over how great your game is, these communities are your fans trying to connect with you. And a little bit more about game updates. You might be thinking, yeah, game updates are the best, but I'm not a UGC game and I do not have a weekly or bi-weekly release schedule. Or maybe you are, and that's great. But game updates aren't just about major updates like early access and content releases. Game updates can also include minor updates like content previews, community rewards, player spotlights, achievements, etc., etc. Whatever it is, users have told us that the timing sweet spot for updates is generally about 2 weeks between each update. And as shown in this flowchart, you can spread out engagement between even those 2 weeks by building anticipation every few days. And note that last step, listen. An important step after each update, which many community managers and game developers actually forget, is that you should be following up and getting feedback from your players. Did they like the update? How can you improve? All right, so I just threw a lot at you. So let's try to bring this all home. Feel free to screenshot this because this is a bit of a cheat sheet of like all the things that I covered. So we'll look at this case study, like bring it all home. Here we show a top 50 AAA shooter during their pre-release stage who followed all of our recommended community success steps. The purple line here is players of the game, and the black line is active server participants in their official community. This game had 3 early access stages, a small closed alpha. Kind of hard to see the purple, but it's there, but I marked it as alpha. and then 2 open beta phases, which is the 2 large purple spikes at 7 months and 4 months before release, which I've labeled beta 1 and beta 2. First, as developers started their community server as early as possible, and for them, that was 9 months before release during their closed alpha phase. With community recruitment cross-marketed across all channels, in this case, it was their Steam page, their closed alpha sign-up web forms, and their game announcement video. Not shown here, but they continue to recruit users after release 2 with in-game entries, specifically in the game user settings page. Now, the black lines are spikes in community participants within the server. You'll notice that the 3 big black spikes line up with those early access phases. And as we just covered in the last 2 slides, makes sense because game updates, like those early access phases, are king when it comes to server engagement. But notice these like tinier, smaller black spikes before and after each major one in roughly 2-week increments, which follows the recommended 2-week cycle timing. These are the minor updates. So for them, it was map previews, character previews, and giveaways. Overall, this is a fantastic example of a game that really understands how to grow and engage their community on Discord. All right, let's now switch gears to smaller spaces on Discord and talk a little bit about driving player engagement. This might be intuitive to all of you, but it's good to see the data and quantify the impact. Playing together with others is one of the key reasons we all game, and playing together results in longer playtime. On Discord, we see 6 times increased game time per user when they play with one other friend versus playing alone. This increases to 8 times when playing with 3 or more friends, your squad. And on Discord, users have about 34 friends on average. But gaming together is not easy. Getting your friends together is not easy. Individual players have different capacities for playing games, different games and genres that they're interested in playing, and different friend networks to play specific games. While hardcore Henry here on the left might be playing 17 titles per year, he might be only playing GTA 5 with his role-playing friend group that he met in an anime server on Discord, while he only plays Repo and Marvel Rivals with his sweaty competitive high school friends, and maybe he'll play Split Fiction with Cassandra, his work friend, but she's only a casual gamer and only plays 1 game a year. There's a lot more interesting nuance here at Discord we see behind squad formation, and again, can likely fill another presentation on its own, but the takeaway here is that with games, it's not just individual interests that are important, but the shared interests and capacities of the squad that you're playing with. And that's just shared game interests. You also have to take into each other's schedules, your skill levels, your social compatibility too. These shared synchronization opportunities. I'm 30-something now, and it is not easy getting my gaming friends together to play Call of Duty ahead of time. It's got baby duty tonight. Who has leveled up enough with me to play ranked games? Or like, do I even want to play the guy that constantly talks about his golf swing? Quantifying this, we see about 38% missed synchronization gaming rates across Discord. That is, amongst players who are playing a game and then join a voice call, 38% of the time, 1 or more friends don't end up joining that call to play the same game with them. Discord has invested a lot in this area in the last few years to promote playing together. Some features which you might have seen, like push notifications or improved gaming activity on member lists, and presence enrichments like game profiles and game wish lists, but they're all on Discord. Games, you guys have ways to do it in-game yourself with your own friends list and your own invite systems and your own chat and voice features. But we wanted a way to bridge in-game and out-of-game. So last year, we introduced the Social SDK, enabling developers to integrate Discord-powered features like text and audio and video and friend lists directly into their game, letting players seamlessly take their Discord social connections without having to leave. In-game players can message and then invite their Discord friends to join, while players on Discord can see who's online and jump in. They're all connected whether they're in-game or on Discord. So it's been about a year since we launched this. We had a ton of games integrate the Social SDK, and we have consistently seen positive player behaviors after they've integrated. Causal lifts across player engagement, session length, retention. Remember, one of our key success criteria that I talked about earlier is that at Discord, we want to help games win like this And if you're interested in trying this for yourself, please find more info at our booth. I think there's a flag over there, so it's like right there so you can see it. All right, let's take us home with some final insights covering social discovery and how game discovery works on Discord. As those in the game industry, I am preaching to the choir when I say game discovery is hard. More than 20,000 games were released on Steam last year, so competition is fierce. And not only is competition fierce, attention is scarce. Players are not growing as fast as games are being released. And moreover, as I'm showing on the chart here on the left, the average annual Steam titles played by Steam players has decreased from 13 titles in 2021 to 10 titles in 2024. Users are playing less games per year. Well, things actually work a little bit differently on Discord. The chart on the right shows Discord Steam players and the average annual Steam titles they play, which is inverse of the market and has actually been increasing in the last few years from 8 titles in 2021 to 11 titles in 2024. One reason that this occurs is, frankly, there are a lot of early adopters on Discord. Players who love finding new games to play and play a lot of games overall, who resonate as a gamer as part of their identity. You all know somebody like this, or you are somebody like that. We see this when we look at player behaviors across early access titles, as I'm showing here. 20% of Discord users play one or more early access titles every month. Most early access Steam titles have a large proportion of their player base on Discord. Here we show the top early access Steam titles by their Discord penetration, the percent of their player base who are Discord users. Usually, we see about 42% penetration across all Steam games, including non-early access titles. But these early access titles have on average 55% of their player base on Discord. Early adopters are game tastemakers, and they are on Discord, and more importantly, they bring their early adopter friends to play the game with them on Discord. Some numbers around how this social discovery works. Overall, 55% of all players on Discord play one or more new games each month. They then bring their friends. 66% of our players play with friends weekly. Our different social proofing surfaces then allow users to share games with friends. One example here is streaming on Discord. When a user watches his or her friend stream a game, 40% of those users then play that same game within 1 hour of watching that stream. We did additional research on this last year and asked our Discord users simply, hey, how did you discover the last game you played? 29% of respondents say they discovered their game was from friend recommendations, with the second response being YouTube, followed by game storefronts, and then TikTok. Again, this is on Discord, so keep that in mind. Friend recommendations, though, being the most powerful game discovery mechanism, makes sense intuitively. If my friend messaged me on Discord to come play Yap Yap with them, I'm much more likely to play that game with them than if I just saw some recommended trailer on YouTube or saw it on my Steam recommended page. Thus, we've built a ton of features on Discord to encourage this social discovery behavior to help games get noticed. When asked about what specific Discord service or surface users discover new games, 45% said it came from these casual text channels in small friend servers, and 37% said it came from friends DMing them about the game directly, confirming that friend recommendations that we just covered from the earlier side, because these are the direct friend recommendation channels. Our other surfaces also play an important role in more indirect and passive discovery, like presence seen in the server member list, accounting for 25% of respondents, or watching a friend stream, which covered 23% of respondents. Game discovery is naturally happening on our platform as users hang out with each other and play games. We are going to continue investing in this area to help games grow, but one way you can immediately take advantage of this is through our advertising system. In our 2 years since announcing Quest, we have seen material impact in acquiring new players, but also re-engaging active and lapsed players. Quests just aren't ads, they're experiences. Players don't scroll past or skip. They actively engage because they're rewarded for doing so. It's advertising reimagined for gamers, making it fun and exciting and impactful. If you are interested in finding out more, go to the booth. But also later today in the West Hall, we'll be doing a specific quest sessions to dive more in detail on it. Finally, we are excited to announce the ability to claim your game's official identity on Discord this GDC. We want to give more control to developers and how they show up in our various game discovery surfaces across Discord. By claiming your identity, you will be able to control what assets show up in your game's profile and presence on Discord, including links to storefronts, trailers, and more. If you have questions on this, again, the booth. And with that, we are mission complete. We have a space theme, so yeah, mission complete. We covered a lot here today, so I'm going to give you some takeaways summarizing what we learned. Overall, one of our key success criteria at Discord is helping games win. We want to help games grow their communities, engage their players, and get discovered. We covered insights on each of these areas, those top section, and made recommendations on how you can action on these today, including leveraging new tools we've specifically built to help games do it. First, game communities are home to your most valuable players. We recommend you start your communities as early as possible. Recruit across your other marketing channels, including in-game, and keep communities thriving with 2-week update cycles, ideally anchored around major game updates, as game updates are king. Game communities can drive player engagements on joining and are a powerful and cost-effective re-engagement channel when your game eventually loses interest. Second, playing together with friends is a huge driver of player engagement, where we see playtime increase 8 times when playing with 3 or more friends. But synchronizing is hard. Consider integrating the Discord social SDK in your game to trigger squad formation seamlessly in-game and out of game. And finally, on game discovery, the most powerful discovery method is friend recommendations, which is a natural behavior already happening throughout Discord and further amplified by our social proofing surfaces. Claim your game to customize how your game officially shows up on Discord today. Also consider paid placements via quests to acquire and engage players where they already are, on Discord, playing games with their friends. Thank you. We all hope you learned a little something, and some of you learned a lot. You can visit this link if you'd like to learn more. I think we have time for questions, yes. But yeah, thank you all for coming, and have a great GDC. Okay, so I think we'll have a box. If anybody does have questions, just raise your hand and we'll toss you the box. And if I can't answer it, I will redirect to somebody on my team that can.
Okay. Not a very good catch. Thank you so much for the insightful presentation. One question that I have is, do you see a lot of competition from people using more and more games are building very functional and useful in-game chats, and a lot of people move to Steam chats. Do you see those as competition in people forming a community and communicating with their friends on Discord?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Thanks for asking it. The way we kind of view communication surfaces is ultimately it's easy to replicate. We have not just the in-game chats, but the platform like PlayStation and Steam. We also have the Roblox has their own version. You can even consider things like Instagram or iMessage. Those are all communication services that we do see people like FaceTime each other when they're playing games. They're all direct and indirect competitors. And I would say they're easily replicable, but we, because of our branding, because of all your friends being on Discord when they're game, we built it specifically for gamers. And so, like, while you can see it, like when one feature launches one, somebody will just copy another. So yeah, we keep that in mind, but really we're trying to build the best product for gamers and for our communities on Discord.
Excuse me. I'm going to toss it to you.
What sort of safety features do you have in place to ensure that when players are looking for a game community on Discord for their game, that they're finding a safe community that won't have scammers or people with other malintentions?
That's a great question. Safety is a very important topic at Discord, and one of the places we most heavily invest in. We actually consider safety in 3 layers. We have a user control layer, so you ultimately are in control of your own privacy and what you choose to see. You don't have to go into their servers, but you also have control of like reporting different users. The other is our platform safety layer. So we have a lot of reactive and proactive tools to protect our users. Anything that violates our community guidelines will be actioned on immediately. So that's like the machine learning models or different like image detection for like unsafe content. And finally, we empower community moderators. We give them tools like the moderation bots that you see or auto bots. And those are all empowering community members to implement their own community norms that go beyond the community guidelines. And so all that works together to build safe places for Discord. Let's go here, I'll come back.
Hi, I got questions about the new ads feature, the quests. First question is, how about the ROI? Do you have any data to share with us? Because it's kind of new to us. And second question is there any way I can like push the ads to some of the games in the genre of our game that might be our competitors? Is this actually ethical or possible within your policies?
Yeah, so I don't want to misquote, but there are stats, and definitely go to the session today, but they have the exact cost per install stat, and there was a lower decrease. We've had 400 campaigns, we have a lot of data now. Definitely go to the booth, but yeah, there's lower cost. You see the impact. The one advertiser loved it so much, I think it was Where Winds Meet, that they spent 11 times more budget on us because they loved it so much. And I believe, yes, genre targeting is an important aspect of the targeting. Yes, I believe it's possible, but again, double check at the booth with the ads team. Thank you. I think there was maybe time for one more. Okay.
Good here. He said he's good.
Oh, he's good?
That was my
Oh, that was your question? All right.
Thank you for providing all the data. I really appreciated that. As far as engaging the community, in my personal experience, I'll join a game server and immediately mute it because of all the notification spam. Do you have advice, data-driven advice, on the trade-off between spamming and valuable content?
Are you considering this from a game developer as a community manager or as a user trying to block spam for your signal?
As a developer, yeah.
Yeah. So again, that 2-week update, making it useful for your users. Again, the updates are king. So like they come here for updates, but also encouraging users to kind of help themselves. Your moderators are also an important aspect. They're your leads in your community. So like having them develop their own subspaces within that community. You could literally take that thing, the block channels of like game updates, and make channels for each of them, for each of the 8 boxes. But again, don't overdo it. Noise to signal is important, and game updates lead with that first, and then follow up with feedback. Is that the right amount of noise? No, ask your users is what I'm saying. Listen, that last step, was that enough, right? Ask your moderators to like do some due diligence there. But yeah, thank you for using Discord, and thank you for the question. Great. Well, thank you all again for coming to GDC. All right. Thank you for this speech, and then have a good GDC. Bye.